Wie wollt man enjoy Minds?
Welcome aboard this London Waterbus service to Camden Market. My name is Rob, your skipper, your captain out there today is Spud, third generation helmsman. We're travelling today on Perseus. She's our oldest boat. She was built in 1935 by the shipbuilders Harland and Wolff, who also built the Titanic. So it's probably a good time for a safety announcement. Please, could you keep inside the windows of the boat at all times? So this means all hands, arms and heads, you'll miss them when they're gone. You can take the odd photo out the window, that's fine. It's just important, particularly when we go past other moored boats and through the tunnels. Please do keep the stairways clear as well. Do not attempt to get on or off the boat while it's in motion. We have now, as we pass under this blue bridge, entered the Regent's Canal. It's going to take us all the way to... the legend goes that Little Venice was either named by Lord Byron or Robert Browning, although the name was only made official in the 1950s. Lord Byron, the famous poet in the late... You can see ahead of us, we've got a tunnel, the Maida Hill engine. Will barely take us 2 minutes. Though, I should probably warn you now, if we do encounter any engine problems while we're in the tunnel, we'll be needing 2 volunteers. So do bear that in mind. Feel free to nominate others, yes? Good strategy. So here we are, the Maida Hill tunnel, completed in 1816. The next stop is, well, Calais, I guess. Gas, diesel, coal, wood, kindling, and other boat-related essentials. So they take away the empty bottle, exchange it for a full one, like milk. On the right, though, we're passing Hanover Lodge, designed in 1827 by John Nash. That was last purchased in 2020. Ionic style. An Ionic style then, that's followed by a Venetian style villa. So Greek then Italian. If you adjust that for inflation in today's money, that's almost £162 million. Shall we do a collection, have a whip round, take it off his hands? A few pennies shy. Growth house, but also 5 tons of gunpowder and 2 barrels of petroleum, which somehow sparked, ignited, and exploded, destroying the boats, the cargo, the crew, and the entire bridge. This was so large an explosion, it was heard 10 miles away in Crystal Palace, and there was debris from the explosion landing in people's gardens half a mile away. Very gruesome. If you look on the left-hand side, just before the bridge, you'll see a large tall tree with a scar down the middle. And people say that was a little sapling at the time of the explosion. So that scar is evidence of the explosion here. 151 years ago. It's just on the left-hand side there. Up the bank, behind the railings. And they did rescue some of these apparently very sturdy black columns. If you look at the last column on the left, you can see those kind of grooves and notches in the paintwork. They are from the friction of the horse ropes when they used to pull the boats past. Frozen in time. That's Blowout Bridge, the Macclesfield Bridge disaster, which was 151 years ago on October the 2nd. Unsurprisingly, that all resulted in a change to UK law and legislation over the transportation of explosive goods, because the crew were largely unaware of the cargo they had on board. They had gas lanterns lighting the way, they were freely smoking their pipes. What could go wrong? Oh, there's one. By the hut there. It's just by the hut. Right in the middle. Well, back by me now. African hunting dogs. And then, now on the left-hand side, I can see you are in luck, because on the left-hand side, you can see we've got some colobus monkeys. Monkey Valley on the left. Black and white colobus monkeys. Lots of them. Leaping and running about. The clothed ones, they're Homo sapiens, I believe. Don't quote me on that. So the colobus monkeys, their name colobus refers to their stump-like thumbs. They basically don't have any thumbs. And that was opened in 1965 though. That was originally an aviary for birds, the Snowdon Aviary, which was the world's first ever walk-through aviary. But since 2022 it's been Monkey Valley. And now as you can see, home to the colobus monkeys. Basin to the left, you can see the famous floating Chinese restaurant there, the Fengshan Princess. Pops up in lots of television and film over the years, including 2019's The Gentleman by Guy Ritchie, one of the early scenes of that film. The bench on the left-hand side, on the corner, right on the bend, that features very prominently in Slow Horses with Gary Oldman. There you go, the Fengshan Princess. Paul McCartney's favourite Chinese restaurant. I have heard, actually, the duck there is particularly fresh. Left-hand side, they are what are known as continuous cruisers. These are people who usually live full-time on their boats, but they've got no permanent mooring rights, so they can stay in an area for 7 to 14 days, and then they have to move on a kilometre to a mile just to the next available spot. So they are 7-day moorings there on the left. Waterbus was built in 1837. It's one of the oldest railway bridges in the entire UK. It was the first railway line to connect London to another city, to Birmingham, 1837. Built by the London and Birmingham Railway Company. That takes us into Gilby's Wharf, home of the Pirate Castle. Established in 1966 by Viscount Davids, which has quite a fearsome reputation. They are actually a very charitable organisation. They do lots of incredible work in the community, youth and seniors clubs, trip boats, water sports. They do lots of work with disadvantaged children in the area as well. So they're a vital part of Camden, not only today, but also its history and heritage as well. That's the Pirate Castle. So if you recognise the hook bridge on the left, and the dogs coming underneath it, you might have seen that in the James Bond film Spectre with Daniel Craig. Bond comes shooting out of there on a speedboat directly out onto the Thames, which doesn't quite seem to work geographically, does it? That's the magic of film. The large red building above it on the left, that's the Camden interchange where the railway used to meet with the canal. One time in that red building, there was a horse hospital that could stable over 2,000 horses at any one time. That's how central they were to everyday life and industry. Got the Hampstead Road lock here. We're going to swing past. The first lock's for over 25 miles, making this the largest single section of canal in London. You can go to Uxbridge, Hammer Flat on the way to Brentford, even to Slough, all on this one level of water. So Spud's going to swing us round past the lock into the market, and that will bring your journey with us today to its conclusion. I hope you've had a nice time. So my name's Rob, you've been skipped by Spud, as I say. Please do leave us a review on Google or TripAdvisor if you can.